Hello fellow Avatar and Korra fans, I'm Avatar04 here back with another video. My last video I caught up on the products, the books 2 and 3 art books for Korra and the Blu-rays for all of Korra. And I caught up on that, and then as I said in my last video, I was going to do the comic reviews next for the Search and the Rift, since both of those are complete now, and I haven't done a video completely summarizing all of them and giving my thoughts on them. So I was going to do that, like I said, but a comment that was left in my last video gave me a really good idea, which I honestly didn't think about, which was to give my thoughts on the Korra video game that was released late last year, around when book 3, book 4, between those, I think it was closer to book 4, came out. And so thank you for the commenter, sorry, that left that comment, because I honestly didn't think about that, and it was a really good idea. And so yeah, this is what this video will be about, and then I'll come back for my comic reviews, and probably the next week or so I'll reread them, refresh my mind, especially on the Search and the Rift, because I haven't read them fairly recently. Same with the video game, I haven't played it really recently, but I definitely do remember what my overall thoughts were with the story, and I have some strong opinions and a lot of pros and comments on other sources. For example, IGN, I'm going to look up and say what they said and see if I agree or not. And yeah, so let's get started with the Legend of Korra video game. It was released as a digital download for PlayStation Network, I think, Xbox, like 360, PC version, and a few more, but it was a downloadable game. The physical copy was just the Nintendo 3DS one, but that won't be the one I will be reviewing because that was a different one. But this one was the main one. And like I said, it was just downloadable. And sadly, I didn't have a system for to be able to download and play with a full controller and everything. But because I'm not much of a gamer, but obviously when this Korra game was announced, obviously I knew I had to get it because I'm that big of a fan, just like my Avatar ones. That's the only video games I ever play now, my Avatar ones. So, and I just have a Wii, and they didn't release it for Wii. So I just said I'll get the PC version. And since it's I originally thought, since the PC version was really different from what I've heard, like, not the game overall, but the controls, obviously, because you don't have the direct, like, control with it, the controller and everything, so you had to position your fingers on the keyboard in different combos and stuff to bend. So I kind of thought maybe I could just review the story of the game, because would it really be fair for something that was just the PC version? But then I read somewhere that the PC version is exactly the same overall as a game, it's just the controls that are different. So I think it'll be fair. I won't be too harsh on it just because of the PC controls. I'll review it as a game as a whole, and then minor details about what I thought is the PC version. So yeah, that's where I am with that. Sadly, I wasn't able to get the real game on a system with a controller and everything. I really do think I would have liked it even more than I did. But so yeah, let's get started. First, I'll go to popular game sites. For example, like I said, IGN. I'll do that last because I have some strong opinions based on what they said. And overall, I was looking right quick about the on Steam, which is the PC downloadable thing that I got it from. It has, I think these are fan fan votes, it has a 9 out of 10, which that's really good, obviously. Let's see if it says anything else. I kind of just pulled it up just to see. I think this one's fan. Let's see. Come on. And yeah. So, from what I see, fans of the PC version overall really liked it. It was just controls, which I'm seeing as the big con. But overall, the game itself seems really to have gotten high praise from the fans, at least. The critics are a little bit different. Some liked it, some hated it, and some were just kind of about it. But overall, fans seem to like it. GameSpot, let's see if this is critic or fan. Whatever it is, it gave them 3 out of 10, which isn't very good. Pretty bad, actually. Let me see. I haven't been on this one. Let's see. I think it's a critic thing. Yeah, so they gave it a 3 out of 10. Once again, it would be a critic thing, so it depends, obviously, whoever's reviewing it. It's not really like a fan vote. Then Metacritic 2.5 out of 5, so half, obviously. So that's pretty good, I guess. And IGN, the big one. Because if you didn't know, IGN was the one that really promoted the game. Nickelodeon gave them to announce it, and they put together that big party at San Diego Comic-Con, introducing it to the fans for the first time. They got to play a sample of the game, and they put it together. So they're kind of reliable based on what they thought, and it's kind of important to them. But sadly, it seems like they really did not like it at all. Which, like I said, they were the one that really promoted it and put everything together for it. But honestly, I do not like I do not agree at all with their little notes they made. Like, I'll just read the verdict from them. This is from IGN. I have no idea who Legend of Korra, the game, is for. It's definitely not for young fans of Korra. As for combat, it's too unforgiving. The boss battles too tedious. The economy ridiculously punishing. And the story too weak and lacking any of the show's charm. It's not for older people who enjoy a good action game, because next to contemporaries like Batman Arkham City and even Platinum's own Bayonetta 2, Korra looks terrible with its simple 2-button combos and poor combat scenario design. I can't recommend it to anyone. So, as you can see, and they did review it on the Xbox One. That's what they said. So, the overall view of the game, since they're all the same, just different controls and stuff, they didn't like it. Their one plus that they put was combat animation. That's one thing I do agree with. The combat and the animation in it was really good in my opinion. How everything flowed with the bending and everything. So let's see. All their other things are cons. Let's see. Awful story. First off, as I'll say later on, I'll get into the story, what I thought about later on, but I completely disagree with this. I thought the story was great, but that's just me once again. Terrible item store with the Iroh's like shop thing. I mean, I guess that's not that big of a deal. It's just, I mean, they just put it in there since they had Iroh. I guess they said, let's just use him for an item store. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about that, but I don't know. Combat scenario design, dull mini games, which once again, overall the mini games, since it's not the overall game itself, I don't think that's big of a deal. But yeah, overall I'm not agreeing with what they say, but yeah, because they were really disappointed considering the effort they put into promoting it, and they're really big fans of the show, posting their reviews and everything. But yeah, now it's time for my thoughts overall. So yeah, just as a transition, fans seem to really like it. Critics were kind of iffy about it too, not so much. But once again, everyone has an opinion. And overall, I'll start with my cons first to get them out of the way and end on a high note. I actually only have 2, and one of them is really minor. I just thought it would have been a little bit better if they would have done that. Tedious controls throughout. Once again, I'll point out mostly PC problem with the keyboard. The keyboard really was not easy to use at all with the controls of the game. Once again, playing the game was great. The controls were way too tedious and so annoying, but once again, that's a PC problem. I honestly don't know. From what I've heard, the actual controllers for like Xbox, PlayStation, they were really good, but for PC version, I'm not really a fan of that, which kind of, as much as I enjoyed the game, kind of ruined it for me, because the action scenes, it took me forever. I knew what to do, but the keyboard, it was so hard to turn around, in my opinion, and remember the combos and everything. I don't know. It was just annoying. Having to hit several buttons to spread your fingers all the way across the keyboard. That's the main problem I have with the game. Then, lack of characters besides Korra. Overall, I honestly thought, this isn't, like I said, this is a minor problem. It's just a little thing for me. I get why they chose Korra, obviously. She's the main character. Has to do with the story. She has to regain her, like the elements. Obviously, only she can do all that. So, like they put Janora to give you little advice bubbles. Once again, I don't like Janora, but that's a personal thing, so I didn't put it down, because I thought that'd be kind of unfair. It's just my opinion. And she didn't really do anything with the game itself. And, yeah, you couldn't really play you couldn't play besides anyone besides Korra, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but, from what I could see, no. But once again, overall, minor problems, just the PC controls, too tedious in my opinion. Now, the pros, I really loved the art style and the design of everything, the characters, the mini animation, and the cutscenes. Like the IGN actually praised about the game was the combat animation. Once again, I thought everything was animated beautifully. How the elements flowed, the water especially, I loved it. And I'll talk more about the bending in the game later on. But overall, the backgrounds, the environments, since it takes place after Book 2, and when you're in Republic City, you saw the spirit vines, which is a really cool thing. The spirit world, obviously that was the same in the Harmonic Convergence Battlefield. Character design, all that stuff. I love that stuff. So, yeah, that's a big thing for me. I'll talk about the story last, because that will take me a while, I think. So, the chi blockers. I loved how they brought them back. When I first saw it, I was really confused, because obviously I didn't know about Hoondoon, the main villain. I think I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, forgive me. But I think Hoondoon. I didn't know he was kind of using them. I just saw the chi blockers are back. And obviously, me personally, I knew that, like, I think it wasn't even a year ago that Amon was in power. And I knew that they wouldn't just vanish just because they lost their leader. Surely, they still have their opinion that they're being abused by vendors. So, I was happy they brought them back once again. It's a little thing, but I just thought that was a cool little nod to the first season and how they're still around. The bending. Like I said, water bending, not only is it my favorite, I just thought it flowed beautifully. Once again, the animation was beautiful and all the elements. And how you could use them. They were so creative, in my opinion, with the combos that you unlocked. And there's this one awesome move that well, let's face it, they're all awesome. Especially where you like gain moves and powers as she learns them again. And when you're in the avatar state, obviously you can do all this crazy stuff. But there's this one move, for example, where Korra jumps up, shoots like several blasts of fire out of her feet. It was really cool. And then she makes tornadoes and she smashes earth, and rock comes up and smashes into someone. And water, like extremes of water. You can whip around and hit people. It was really neat. I can't really describe some of their stuff, but it was just awesome in my opinion. That's something that I could tell they really thought out, and how could you do more combos, make it unique, everything. I just thought that was really cool. And also she did the air scooter. She had the air scooter. I love that. So yeah, now I'll talk about the story overall. Once again, a pro. I disagree completely with IGN. Personally, I thought the story was really great. Obviously, like they said, it lacked the show's charm. I don't really think so. Obviously, it won't be as in-depth as it would be in the show. That's just, I mean, it's a game in the end. And the cutscenes, the little animations in between, they commented how they didn't really like that either. I love that and how it progressed the little plot going on with Hoondoon and trying to extract Korra's chi. I'm trying to remember. I know the main details from the game. I just haven't played it most recently, like I said. But overall, I know I really loved the story when I was playing it, and how Hoondoon battled an avatar many years ago, and Korra opening the portal, since it takes place in between books 2 and book 3. That kind of, we saw the good side of it in the show, bringing the airbenders back, but we also knew obviously there would be some consequence, and I thought it was really creative and awesome how they brought that in. How he was trapped in there. He was like, I was confused about his brother, the one that was on his back. I can't remember exactly what happened with that, but I think it happened when he was battling the other avatar. And he's trying to extract her chi, and he uses the chi blockers. And yeah, overall, Hoondoon involving coming back after all that time, trying to put an end to the avatar once again, and how he uses spirits. He can play with he can make you have hallucinations, kind of. There's these really cool scenes where when he's playing with kind of Korra's mind, he can you see there's like a dark version with spirits kind of flying around. I can't really describe it. It's really cool though. If you play the game, you probably know what I'm talking about. But overall, I loved Hoondoon as the villain. As much I don't like Unlock. If you've seen my other videos, you don't. I honestly always say I think this would have been a really cool story for book 2, because you would still have the spirits. Obviously, they could have done the spirit portal maybe earlier on. We might not have gotten the Rava Vatu stuff. That's the big thing. But just opening the portals and having Hoondoon as the main villain, I honestly think would have been better. But once again, we would have known about Rava and all that stuff. But I loved Hoondoon. He was so interesting how he battled a previous avatar and he came back. And yeah, I'm not trying to be repetitive. I just loved Hoondoon and his story. And that's my overall on the story. Because once again, I'm not too fresh on everything that happened specifically. I just know that was kind of the gist of it. So yeah, that was my overall video game thoughts for The Legend of Korra, the game. And overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really creative, really better than I thought, actually. Even though I have the PC version with the bad controls and it's kind of slow at times. They run at slow motion. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just my computer. But overall, I really did enjoy the game. They have a little pro bending game that's really fun. Yeah, it's overall, I'm disappointed that it didn't do so well, especially with IGN, who promoted it and put so much effort into it. But overall, it seems like the fans really liked it. I'm happy about that. I'm happy Nickelodeon released it, and it is really fun. Besides it being tedious for me personally, but overall, yeah, I guess I'm done with the overall Korra video game review. And yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, I honestly forgot about this. It was a great idea. Thank you for the commenter who recommended me give my thoughts on the game. And yeah, be on the lookout for more upcoming videos since I'm posting more regularly now. Continue to comment, continue to, because I love seeing your comments, giving your input, and if you agree with me, disagree, why not? I love reading all your comments. Thanks for watching, and be on the lookout for the search and the Riff comic reviews coming up soon. Bye.